Hello, viewers. This is Sex in the Temple. My name is Monique. Young people aged 10 to 19 constitute about 1.2 billion, which is 16% of the world's population. And guess what? 23% of this population is in sub-Saharan Africa, meaning that we have a huge percent of young people in sub-Saharan Africa. In 2023, UNESCO conducted a research. Only 37% of young people in this region were able to demonstrate a comprehensive knowledge of prevention and transmission of HIV/AIDS. And to add to that, 2 girls out of every 3 lack the knowledge, the skills they need as they begin menstruation, even enter into puberty. This is alarming. It is fundamental that parents take sexuality education seriously. Caregivers, parents should ensure that they provide a platform that they can teach their children sexuality education. It is not a one-off conversation. It is a continuous conversation, and they should ensure that they express the importance of it. If they don't, they leave their children exposed to misguided information that will make them vulnerable to abuse, exploitation, and risky sexual behavior. Today, we're going to delve deep into this topic. And with me on the set is Madam Gifty Aseidu. She is the Director of Girls Education, Ghana Education Service. Madam, you're welcome.
Thank you, Monique.
I know you're busy. We really appreciate taking time off your busy schedule to come and discuss this all-important topic.
It's also very important because the well-being of every girl, not only girls, but girls with their brothers, is also very important to us at GES.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the structures they are put in place, and I pray that you continue to work and glorify the name of God.
Amen.
Amen. So one may ask, what is sexuality education?
So sexuality education, what I will say is equipping the individual with information, knowledge, practices, values about the human sexual anatomy.
Okay.
And everything that's about the human sexuality.
Okay, so you give them the skills.
You give them the knowledge. Here you give information. So for instance, information on menstruation, menstrual hygiene, how to keep yourself when you are in menstruation, when you are safe, when you are not safe. It's good that you give that information. Then the adolescent reproductive health issues. And then you have to talk about the health issues in terms of STIs, HIV/AIDS, and all other things regarding adolescent health that the individual should know. So that is about knowledge, the skills, the practices. When do you practice it? Where? How? The person should know. And then we talk about the values. You have to define the boundaries within which you can engage in any sexual activity, what you are supposed to do, so that it will minimize abuse and exploitation. And then you also look at, apart from the knowledge, the skill, the values, you have the laws also governing it. That's part of the boundary. So the rights that within which individuals can operate is also very necessary.
And this is just a one-off conversation, right? Because I don't know, for you, me growing up, I think I have a crash course with my mom. There's a one-off, and that is it. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. When you do this, this will happen. But she was not specific. But from what I'm gathering from you, it's an ongoing process where you intentionally educate the girl child, the boundaries. You educate them that this is appropriate, this is not appropriate. And why is it important? Why should a girl child, why should a boy be educated about it? Why is it so important?
So you've asked 2 questions. So let me talk about the importance and then whether it's a one-time thing or it's something that should be gradual, or it's a process. So first, it is very important. The child is growing. The child needs information from you. They are observing, they are learning from the environment, but then some of the things will just be bothering their young minds. And it is when you give clarification, you give explanations to issues or things that they see. So they will not look at it and take it as it is, but you explain the why. Questions will be coming. Equip the child with that information. It is very necessary because there are health implications, and you are looking at not only the physical part of it, but there are emotional issues also attached to it. So for the child to get this information and not just grow into it, and person wouldn't know what to do and will be asking questions, then you ask yourself, is the person going to seek for information from the right source? So you do it. It is very important. And then it will also minimize exploitation. If you don't have the information, somebody will take advantage of you.
Exactly.
And then be feeding you with information. Well, that is what you've been told, so you work with it.
Yeah.
So it is very vital. And apart from that, as an individual, you should understand your biological makeup. You should understand why you are what you are, male, female, growing up. We go through a lot of changes and different developmental stages. And you know, we are different. We are all unique. Somebody may have it at a time different from yours. Then you'll be wondering, why is this person having so huge breast? Why is it that mine is so small, tiny?
Exactly.
Why is it that this person has this? And it has negative effect on them. They look into mirror, they look at their physique, and it's like, oh, this one I don't feel, and it affects them. And there is a relationship between this and performance. If the child feels, I'm not nice, I'm not like this, I'm not like that, definitely the child wouldn't even feel good to be in class, to study, and it affects the person emotionally. And where learning is concerned, everything that will give the child peace of mind to have, for us to have positive learning outcomes, it's our business. So it's very important that that information is given to the child. Then you have the peace of mind. As we go, I believe we'll be talking about how menstruation affects girls also in class.
Yes, thank you so much. You know, once you're talking, what came to my mind, we live in an age where we have filters. You know, you put your photo on Facebook, for those who are very regular on social media, Instagram, everything is filter. They had to filter to look this certain way. They had to filter to have this big bust and everything. But from what you're saying, from a young age, you're telling the girl child, a memory text just came to my mind from the Bible, you're fearfully
and wonderfully
made. So you appreciate your gender, and nobody will come and confuse you with all this gender thingy. Then you also appreciate your body image, that God intentionally formed you and put you together. When you look at yourself, you look at a prince and you look at a princess, a man and a woman that God has made. So filters don't bother you. You appreciate and you boost your self-esteem. That's what I'm saying. And it's so important, because if they don't, now they have to start comparing with people. I think they are better than me, or this one is better than. So when should this education begin?
Education starts from the very day the baby comes.
Okay.
Education generally. So as the child grows, the child understands this is A, this is B, can talk, can communicate. You teach the child.
Okay.
So education is not a one-time thing.
So as long as the child can talk, you give them age-appropriate sex education.
Exactly. Exactly. So if it is even a 2 years or a 2-year-old child, you begin to teach parts of the body.
Okay.
We teach them through songs, through play, my head, my shoulder, my knees, my toes. You are teaching the part of the body, because at that very tender age, and sometimes we even do it before 1 year. You sing to the child, you do this, you play, you touch this place, you touch this place. Some people are so conscious. Hey, this place, no, you don't touch it. So when they get to 2 years, you are bathing for them. They want to know the parts of the body.
Okay, so when you're giving them, taking a shower, everything.
Exactly.
You can also use that opportunity. So it doesn't have to be a special time. Any time, an opportunity.
Anytime.
Okay.
I said at a program, I mentioned at a program that if you want your child to know about her sexuality, don't wait till adolescent. That is our mindset. You know, culturally, when we are being prepared into marriage or during the puberty rites, that is where we get all this information from our relatives, from our parents, from our opinion leaders, the pre-mothers trying to prepare you into usher you into adulthood. That is where they give you this information, but that will be too late. It is the responsibility of parents to start it from the very beginning when the child is learning how to pick things around. So everyday conversation can give you the opportunity to talk. You watch TV together, they see animals mating. A child could put a question to you. Why is it that you are throwing stone at a dog doing this? Why are they doing? Why is it that everybody is laughing?
And then we start giggling.
Yes.
And if we watch movie, I don't know, sorry for interrupting. When we watch movie when we are young, you know, they're looking at a sex scene. Once they start kissing and then they say, cover your eyes. And we don't. So we do like that. Because we want to see why are they saying that only the scene can we cover our eyes and nobody takes the time to explain to us. Yes. So you are saying even in those situations, we can use it as a teaching tool, as a teaching opportunity to teach sexuality to our children.
Because they've already seen animals. You know, they learn from what they see. They've seen the animals. So even their young minds may look at it and start imagining and may not ask a question. But where you create that space for a child to ask questions, remember, you are raising a child. The child asks this. Oh, I'm busy. Leave me alone. Oh, this. So the child is like, where do I go? So now they see things that they want further explanation and they can't approach you again. Then they begin to coil. And sometimes the way we even give responses, they may ask certain questions. Hey, is this up to you? You know, in Africans way.
I think Africa, even through the whole of Africa,
you see that the children will just coil and wouldn't like to ask questions. And if the mother is the type that will, you know, depending on how you relate to your child, you know, sometimes out of frustration, we scream at them, we shout at them. And when they see that your mood, they just look at you and it tells them that no, this thing, this woman will just be angry or daddy will be angry. I can't even go to the person. But at that particular moment, there could be something pressing that the child wants to ask. And if you wait, that opportunity will slip.
You miss the opportunity.
And they will just go asking other people.
Okay.
I gave an example somewhere of my 5-year-old boy, and I was telling him that the parts of the body, you know, we normally don't mention the private part.
Yes, of course.
And so we give a special name to it. Said it is this, and then he said, okay, we call it bolo bolo. Said yes. He went to school one day, came back and told me, Mama, no, it is penis and scrotum. This is not bolo bolo.
Imagine.
Yeah, so
he's landed somewhere.
Brought to mind. I'm working in the education space. What are we teaching? We only concentrate on the adolescents and then primary, because we are thinking that is the age where they'll be interested in the opposite sex. So we start giving this information, but then it's dawned on me that go to the basics. So I went to KG1, I did KG1, KG2 with a colleague. I asked the teachers to leave us. Today, Auntie is coming to have a chat with you. We sang, we danced, and they were so happy. Give me 5. And so I needed to create that child-friendly environment to help them to come out with issues. Then I asked them, today we are going to learn about our body. So I want you to name the parts of the body. They gave the names, all right. Then they left and said, you like this part. Then they started laughing, coughing, giggling. I said, what is funny? I want to know.
Nobody talks about that.
You know, at the basic level in Ghana, we do the local language L1, L2. Okay. So you can, as I was saying that, okay, we want to know the name in L1 and L2. Maybe you don't know. I know the name in English, but I don't know the Ghanaian language name. So I want you to share with me. And because you belong to different tribes, I may get the opportunity to learn the names from the tribe. They laughed. And I said, okay, why are you laughing? That, madam, we don't mention it. I said, no, it's part of your body. You have to talk about it. And I said, okay, so how do you call it? If you don't mention it, how do you call it? And then what do you use it to do? And then a child said, madam, for the girls, we call it meat pie. I said, it's never crossed my mind. Then one person said, no, this is not meat pie.
I see where it's coming from. A bit of this, a bit of this, and then you have something that you do.
It is like sausage roll. I said, why are you giving it? He said, yes, for the men or the boys, it is sausage. And we put it inside the meat pie. Then I was, wow,
is 4 years. They can go to that extent of even describing it. And their parents are saying to themselves, they are too young, they don't know.
They are never too young.
We can't teach them this. If we do, we are just encouraging them to start something. This is so important that we should take it seriously.
Let me share this with you. See, they live in communities where, especially where it's communities where we have a lot of squatters around.
All right.
So they see all sorts of things happening. Then I asked, how come you call this? Okay, now we know the name is this and this. Then I said, now I will teach you the English name. For the girls, it's called vagina. For the boys, penis. We don't mention the name because we have special respect for it. And so we call it private part. It is your private part. Do you know why we call it private part? Because nobody has the right to touch or play with it. And at that level, it was the only information I wanted to communicate to them. Nobody has the right to touch or play with it. And it is not the only private part. So now we will look at other places we consider as private parts.
Imagine.
You will marvel. They came with breasts, the buttocks. You don't have to touch my thigh. You don't have to touch this place. And somebody said, yes, the mouth. People kiss. It's wrong. 4 years. So I asked, how did you know all this? Then they said, one person said, there is this brother in my house. He's been bringing a certain woman in the house. And then they used the local parlance. Obe 3 girls ne wo ho. Said, really? Who told you that? Said, we see them all the time. So it depends on the community and the environment. You don't underestimate. You may be living in an elite community where your child will not have the opportunities to be seeing these things. So you think that child has no knowledge of this. But the teachers, the real teachers are the peers in school. Some of these children attend the same school with these kids. They meet and they discuss a lot of things. So you think it's too early, you would be surprised.
You'll be surprised to know that it's too early.
Exactly.
So when they come with a question, I remember growing up, I can never go to my mom. Oh, I love my mom, but I can never go to her and talk about things. So let's take a case wherein they will come and say, why is auntie's breast too big and I don't have breast? Why is auntie having a pubic hair and I don't have pubic hair? And most of the times you see that parents will say, I don't know for here, but in my country they say, oh yeah, now we know you are gone. Oh God have mercy. And the mothers will put their hands on their head and say, I know this. I just know that something's going to happen to my daughter. Somebody else, and they start screaming and shouting. The neighbor will come and ask what's going on. They have not answered the question. They just ask a question and they're making a whole scene. So if children ask this question, what do you do as a parent? It can be a father and a mother. What do you do with this?
So it depends on the age. You are giving age-appropriate information. Okay. If it is about 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you tell them. Yeah, you also grow and have it. And you leave it there. Yes, when you are a child, it is like this. I also went through this stage. And this is where you have photographs of your childhood. They use it as evidence. You see, when I was like your age, this is how. So as you grow, it gets bigger. Then you begin to teach the child your self-image, loving yourself. So we have different sizes. Look at auntie's own. It is big. Mine is small. It doesn't mean auntie's own is better than mine. We are different. Each of us, we have been created in the image of God.
Yeah, exactly.
So God has variety in everything. People are fair, people are dark, people are slim, people are fit. So when it comes to our parts of the body, you see somebody with a buttocks, somebody with very small one, somebody has big breast, somebody has small one. But whatever you have been given by God, you love it and appreciate it.
I
because that is
it.
what is good for you.
I love this.
So you start, because there are bullies out there.
Yeah, exactly. They take advantage.
Yes, body shameness. They are out there. So if you don't try to do this talking right from the word go, somebody will go out and say, look at your flat buttocks, look at your ugly legs, look at this. But the child has already been given the information at home. So when you look at places like the Scandinavians, they school from 6 years. It is expected that mothers or the home will give their education the first 6 years before they start. In Ghana, actual school is supposed to start 4 years. So we expect that before the child comes to school at 4, the child would have been given all the education, and all this information would have been given to the child, so that when the child goes out, you ask of the importance. Safety is key. If you have informed the child that this is your private part, nobody has the right to touch or play as early as 2, then the child will ask, what about daddy? What about this? Now we have fathers abusing their children. We have other members of the family doing it. So the child will tell you, no, mommy says no. Then you don't have to put any objects there. Then why? It is because you introduce bacteria, you introduce germs, you play, you don't have to put your sand there, you just wash the surface. So you begin to give all this information, and nobody has also the right to put the hand there or to put any objects there.
So you're also telling them not only to respect their body, but to also respect other people's body.
Exactly. It is private parts. So you also do not have the right to do that. Like the KG children, it came up. And madam, when we go to the washroom, some of the boys will be following us. And they, when you are moving, they will be bending and then looking at your, then they mentioned private parts. Now they started using the word private parts.
Okay.
Do you get it? So you give that information that this one, it is private. What is private? So I use car. Private car, can anybody just jump in? No.
Try to everybody jump in.
You can't. That is public. So this is for you. In that same manner, you don't also touch somebody's own. Because we have this issue coming up. Incest. In the home. So when siblings are there, you don't play with each other's private parts. So you don't underestimate children. Give all this information before they go out. So when somebody wants to do something, then they know.
You also share your values with them. So viewers, our time has gone so fast, but I hope that what we have discussed so far will help you and guide you in putting structures in place in teaching sexuality to your children. Don't underestimate them. It can be 1 or 2 or 3. They need to know. My name is Monique. This is Sex in the Temple. Thank you.